The Trials and Tribulations of an Engineer. Episode 6: What to expect when you get a job. Last time we went over searching for a job, but what happens when you accept a job? The first thing that you have to do is accept the offer, which should have been sent to you either in the mail or email. From this point, someone in HR will reach out to you for the next steps. Next, you may receive a welcome package that includes forms that you need to fill out, that requires you to fill out standard information such as your name, address, social security number, bank account number, so they can direct deposit your pay to your account, as well as information on your retirement benefits and health insurance. They will also confirm with you your start date. On your first day of work, I usually recommend wearing a suit to give a good first impression, and they will usually let you know if more casual attire is all that is necessary. A representative of the employer would then show you around to meet various staff and to get you acquainted with the space, eventually ending up at your desk area. You will have some basic supplies provided to you, and then they may have a welcome kit that describes some things you may have to do for orientation. I will give some very important words of caution. Know how your email works and check it often. I had a colleague that was being given assignments that he was not checking for a month, and they demoted him to a lower position. He assumed that they would verbally tell him what to do, but by the same token the supervisor should have been checking up on the new employee weekly at the very least. Your health benefits should have been a very important factor in your job selection. There is no one plan that is right for everyone, and you typically get a choice of at least 2 plans. Review all the information that is given to you, including the cost and your overall health, to make your decision. Trust me, it is better to have health insurance and never need it than to not have health insurance and then get sick. Depending on the illness or doctor, each visit can cost you hundreds of dollars out of pocket if you do not have health insurance. Next, you have to consider how much money you will set aside for your retirement savings. Lately, employers have 401k plans, which means you will contribute money you earn in each paycheck to help pay for your retirement. Since I am assuming that this is your first job, consider putting 10% of your salary towards your 401k, that is assuming that you can afford that with all of your personal expenses such as food, housing, transportation, etc. Remember that 401k use the stock market, and if you want to benefit from compound interest, you should continually contribute early on in your career to see real benefits when you retire in 30 or so years. A quick tip about your paycheck. I suggest that when you set up your direct deposit information, that you allocate some money to automatically go into your savings account, and the rest of the money goes into your checking account to pay your monthly bills. Ideally, you will allocate just enough money in your checking account to cover your monthly expenses, including leisure, and the rest goes into the savings. The reason for this is psychological. If you have all your money in your checking account, you are accustomed to spending that money. If you have a separate account just for savings and you train yourself not to touch it, then you will have a nice nest egg of money after some time. If you are lucky, your company will set you up with a mentor. This person's role is to help guide you in your early career to become a standout employee. I would try to learn as much as you can from this person, because I have found that a lot of people like to keep vital information to themselves for what they believe to be job security. In other words, the more information they keep to themselves, the more risk the company has if they let them go. These insecure people are miserable to work with because extracting information from them is a chore, but often required for you to complete the tasks that you are given. Personally, I feel that if I train people to do their job correctly, then I have less work to do in correcting their mistakes later. At work, there is a saying that perception is reality, and in this context that means that if people see you as a good worker based on context clues and appearances, then they will tend to spread that impression, even if you in fact the opposite. A personal example is that in one of my jobs, my supervisor's supervisor saw me every morning with my cup of coffee moving from cubicle to cubicle talking to staff. His impression was that I was goofing off because the coffee cup was in my hand. The reality was that I was talking to each of those people about work, but because this head supervisor had an impression that I was a slacker, I found getting promotional opportunities to be difficult. On a similar note, do not become part of the groups that do nothing but spread office gossip. Not only does this foster a toxic working environment, but it also can backfire on you. Finally, if your company has an office handbook, I recommend that you read and know that information from cover to cover. This booklet has all the rules and regulations as well as perks that you are allowed. Many people do not read all the information and miss important perks. For instance, there was a single line in one of my handbooks that stated that new work boots would be a reimbursable expense every 2 years. I was one of the only people that took advantage of that deal until they took that perk away. All of the above information should give you a good grasp of what to expect when starting your new job as you start out in your budding careers. If you have found this information helpful, please consider clicking the like button and subscribing. Till next time.